Okay, it says it's preparing. And we are live. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Everybody meet Lisa Haley. Lisa, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm really excited to chat with you. And Lisa, can you give us a quick rundown of like where you are in the world and maybe your favorite bike that you ride right now?
Absolutely. So I live in South Carolina at Myrtle Beach. And I do a lot of traveling between here and Virginia because that's where we used to be. And right now I'm riding Trek Madone. It's a 2012 that I love, that I've done all these things too. But so that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And so I'm just going to jump right into it. And y'all are going to meet Lisa. We're going to go through her whole, I want to say like our experience together. So Lisa, tell me like, what were you doing when like before we started working together a short 2.5 months ago?
So I had just broken my wrist because I was playing ice hockey and fell. And so I really wasn't doing anything. Now, before that, I was sort of piecemealing my cycling together from bits and pieces on the internet. But I also found you on the internet. You did a master's class on recovery. And that sort of was like there's some things, right? So that I was sort of in my in-between stage when we started working together. And
Yeah. And so what kind of cycling do you do? And like maybe broad strokes, doesn't need to be super specific, but what kind of cyclist are you? What do you like?
Yeah, I guess I'm an age grouper. I've competed in a few things. I think now I've completed like 7 time trials. I'm sort of just dabbling, but road racing is sort of what I'm into right now. So I like to go fast, or as fast as I can. And so that's sort of the experience that I had. So I'm just, I'm an age grouper, enjoy a good challenge, and that's what got me to you for this last big challenge. So
okay. So then while we were working together, can you share what were some of the favorite or least favorite things that you did?
Yeah. So because we were working one-on-one, one of my favorite things was just the structure of there's a plan, there's something to do, and you do it. And it just really took the pressure off. I could focus on whatever that day's activity was and not have to be like, what am I supposed to do? And how, like all the information was there, and I could refer to it. And so that made it super simple to just dial in what I was doing and what I needed to do. And so that was one of my favorite things. My least favorite, it's kind of funny. It's a 2-way street. So I didn't enjoy squats, okay, because it made me sore. But the value of doing that strength training on the back end, it's worth it. It's worth every bit of soreness and grumpiness that came. Like, as much as I was like, oh, I see why that's so important. And so, it's a love-hate thing, I guess.
Well, along that vein, like what was one, I want to say, result of like doing all of those squats? Like what did you find that happened?
Well, I definitely increased my wattage. And one of the races, I went way beyond what we thought where I was going to be. So I clearly upped my game. And so that's how I know. And it just felt stronger on the bike. I felt better. And so I know it's valuable. It was just in my head, I was like, oh, this stuff hurts.
I know, I love it. But I think the way you're coming at it is so usual. Most people are just like, why is she making me do squats on squats? One, they're good for you. Assuming that, everything being equal and your body is ready and healthy and good for, so, but they're so valuable. Like the time you invest in doing a few squats comes back in spades. And that's why, right? I love that. What was maybe one of the best I hate using the word the best because then it's like, what's the one thing? And that's a lot of pressure. But what were some great outcomes that you experienced? And I just want everyone out there to know, like we only had 65 days together. I mean, it was pretty short. It's like 9 weeks, I think. And so what do you feel like the best outcome of all of the work that we've done together?
So there's a couple things. One is, like I said, I had done races and things before, and I don't think I my level of confidence in what I was doing and being prepared was just off the chart. So that in and of itself was great. And one of the things that I shared with you is that I was like, I've never spent money like this in training. And it was worth every penny. Like all of it, it exceeded my expectations for what I was, for what I learned and for what I was able to implement. And it's funny, I was thinking about this, racing is sort of about preparing, having a plan, and then performing, right? And all of those things, the green lights were going. It was just, of all the things, I just feel like it was the perfect setup, right? So, and the way that you structure the program, it makes it easy for the athlete to just focus on getting ready. And so that's probably one of the biggest ones for me.
Well, can you tell us a little bit more from your side? Because we were chatting again about preparation, and I always like to say, like, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? And we make our own luck as much as we can. But you and I spent some time talking about like that. What did that, like, what was it? What, and I could preface with everyone watching this, like, we spent time on the phone together. Like, how was that different? Because I remember you saying something on the phone where you were like, maybe not sure what these calls were going to be about. And then you came away just like brimming with confidence. Like, what was the difference between not being sure and then confidence? Like, what happened?
I think, well, first of all, the technology that you use is like super simple, and the feedback loop, I think, is what grew my level of confidence. The more we talked, it's like, it made sense. And the other thing is, I in my head, I was like, I got to trust what you're telling me. And over time I could see it was worth trusting you. Right. And so some of the things were like, when we would talk, this is an example on race. We talked pre-races, right? And during the race, literally what we talked about was on the loop in my head. And that just helped me to be able to put it out there. And it just, I don't know if there's a connection between just, that's part of the preparation, just those conversations. And you're right. I did not know, I didn't know what to expect, but it's super chill. It was just like having a conversation and, talking about biking so I think it just helped me. It's almost like the reps. It just helped me to get prepared and just to feel more confident about what I was doing. So, and that's not to say that I didn't have like moments, because, you show up at a race and you're still going to have nerves and all that good stuff. But that loop in my head was like, oh no, you're ready. You're capable. Go get it. So
yeah. And we created a plan together, right? And we created kind of like broke it down into 3 pieces, and it just made it digestible. So you didn't have to sit with the weight of an entire race on your shoulders. It was just this one part. And that, I remember you saying something like that was just like mind-blowingly simple, but like opened up your eyes to like how to race a little bit more. So that was really exciting to just see that. It was a really quick, what's the word I'm looking for? Learning curve. I mean, because you already knew a lot, right? And you'd already been riding a lot. And it was just these minor but monumental tweaks that we were able to make, not just with training, but mentally with racing. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people who don't race or train for racing miss out on, is that they do the training according to whatever training plan, but there's so much more that goes into racing than just being fit. So, and bicycling especially, the fittest person doesn't always win. There's a lot of tactics that go along with that. So anyway, so it's really, really, really cool to be able to see your progression in just a short amount of time. And that is owing to like your work ethic, just being phenomenal at breaking it down and trying to stick with your, I don't know, it's not like you followed the training program really well, but when life happens, like we made a plan and made sure you got through it. So like nobody's perfect. You have a full-time job, you're traveling all the time, and you're not just sitting out here being a professional athlete. So my biggest goal is just helping you see the way to success on a simple plan, where it's not easy, right? We were just talking like this plan is not easy, but we are like laying it out as simply as possible so that you can see the way to the results, which is super gratifying for me. I love that.
You hit on 2 things that were probably that are really worth mentioning. One is I do have a pretty demanding full-time job. And so the way you built the plan for me I could work it in. And I wanted it to be a priority. That was something important to me, but you made it so that I could do it. And then
Yeah.
the thing that was missing for me were those little nuancy things and the conversations and the strategies that I didn't have inside baseball for. And that's what the one-on-one experience gave me.
Right.
Kind of addicted me, to be honest. And just that to me that made the difference. Like, you're right, you can follow a plan, but it's that feedback and suggestion. And I mean, you totally came alongside me and just you opened my eyes and mind up to things that I didn't know. And you got to be in a learning mode always, right? So
always. I love that. And that's the best way to be, or the best way to becoming the best cyclist you can be is that growth opportunity, that open mindset. That's awesome. And so that's what made it work so well. We had so much fun together. I love that. So yeah, when we talked about your results, I think you went to nationals. It's really exciting. And because you had to qualify for nationals. And so we had 2 time trials and a road race. Which do you want to talk about how it went?
Yeah, so I got 2 11th places in my age group for the time trials, and 9th place in the road race. And it's funny because we had a conversation after the first race, and you're like, well, how'd you feel about it? And I was like, it felt pretty good. And then the second race, I was just like, I don't know, it kind of like started to click, and like the sort of, there's a lot that happens ahead of a race, right? So, you're sizing up the competition and you're doing all this stuff. And I was just like, I'm focusing on my race. And so they award medals through 8th place. I was just outside of it for that road race. I learned a lot. There's a lot of fast older cyclists out there. And it was amazing to see. Super great community too. And just a phenomenal experience all the way around.
I love that. And we determined, like, I think in that race, the second race, you blew out you way blew past your old powers record. So that was really exciting to see in such a short time that, like, you blew it out of the water. So yeah, pretty excited. Right? super excited for you. I mean, what a great summer. What a great summer. So
I couldn't have been happier. And truthfully, Marissa, the length of time that we were together and what I was able to do, it seriously is bananas. I just you're like, this bananas, how did this happen? I was like, so that's true. Just a little bit of like you said, inside baseball can go a long way. I really agree. So I am so stoked for you. I just wanted to share my appreciation for being such a fun athlete to work with, and hopefully we'll be back together soon one of these days for another big event of yours. Okay. But I am just super excited that you had such a great kind of a great short, fast buildup, and just to hear how things went from your side. So do you have any parting wisdom for anyone out there watching this who's curious about racing or doing something outside of their comfort zone? Well, first of all, do it. You learn so much when you sort of say yes, and then working with you like that I just can't stress enough, first of all, how it's just so easy to work with you. It really is. And it'll get you where you want to go. If you have a goal, whether it be a race or an event, like this is the thing that will help you be the best prepared for it. That's just question.
I love that. Set new PRs every time. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lisa. And if y'all have any questions for Lisa, just drop them in the comments. I'm sure she'd be around, or I'll hassle her to answer them. But and if you have any questions for me or anyone out there, just drop them in the chat or the comments below, and we'll get back to you. So I appreciate it so much. Have a really great rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah. Thank you. And we'll be talking soon.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy. Bye.